WBAP-TV, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Hundreds of persons witnessed the shooting in Dallas just after the noon hour. We have films of eyewitness reports. Coming up is a statement by Charles Brehm, who was on the sidewalk and saw the shooting.
Unfortunately, I was probably 15 to 20 feet away from the president when it happened.
Tell us exactly what you saw, sir.
He was coming down the street, and my 5-year-old boy and myself were by ourselves on the grass there on Palmer Street, and I asked Joe to wave to him, and Joe waved, and I waved, and the man...
That's all right, sir. You go ahead and tell it.
As he was waving back, the shot rang out, and he slumped down in the seat, and his wife reached up toward him, and as he was slumping down, and the second shot went off, and it just knocked him down in the seat.
Two shots?
Two shots.
Did you see the man who did this?
No, sir, I did not see the man who did it. All I did was look in the man's face when he was shot there and saw that expression on his face and grabbed himself and slide. And the second one, whenever it went, why, I'm positive it had hit him. I hope it didn't, but I'm positive it had hit him, and he went all the way down in the car. Then they speeded up, and I didn't know what was going on, so I just grabbed the boy and fell on him in the hopes that there wasn't a maniac around. I'm sorry. I can't help you more, but I won't forget it.
Yes.
Polaroid picture taken by another witness, Mary Norman of Dallas, showing the president slumped over in the car.
Just as Mary started to take the picture and the president came right even with us, we looked at him, and he was looking at a dog in the middle of the seat. 2 shots rang out, and he grabbed his chest, and a look of pain on his face, and fell across toward Jackie, and she fell over on him and said, "My God, he's shot." And there was an interval, and then 3 or 4 more shots rang out. By that time, the motorcade had sped away.
What prompted you to take the picture at that particular instant, ma'am?
Well, that's the only chance I had. Mine is a Polaroid, and I can only take one every 10 seconds, and it was at that time whenever I took it.
Did you know he was shot?
No, I didn't. I must have sensed it immediately when he slumped, because in the picture that's the way she's there, and he slumped over. And
Did you see, were you a witness, did you see the person who fired the...
No, I didn't see any person fire the weapon.
You only heard it?
I only heard it. And I looked up and saw a man running up this hill.
Could you tell me, you had no idea?
No, I had no idea. I had nothing to go by. I mean, I don't think it dawned on me for an instant that the president had been shot. I mean, I knew, and yet it just didn't register.
Did you get a look at the stat?
no, I had taken the picture and then the shots, and I decided it was time to fall on the ground.
You did fall on the ground.
Mary Norman was the woman who took the picture on the right. The other woman was a companion, Jean Hill. Coming up again now are films of the last minutes of President Kennedy's life and the actual shooting scene in Dallas. Presidential motorcade is passing the City Hall in Dallas, also containing the police department, which had pled extra precautionary measures against possible violence. A big crowd gathered along the sidewalks of Main Street. He passed down Main Street during the height of the noon hour, after speaking in Fort Worth, where he had spent the night. The motorcade is moving slowly west, about 20 miles an hour. No estimate of the crowd has ever been made. Past workmen, past office workers, past thousands of young people who had cut classes at school to see the president and his attractive wife. That is the school depository on the right, the building from which the sniper fired. Now these are the last moments of President. This is the shooting scene, the confused moments as the cameraman runs toward the presidential car, leaving his camera running all the while. Past a park, a woman taking shelter on the lawn of a park, another man holding his son, another woman crouching, and then the presidential car, hurrying toward Parkland Hospital. Confusion everywhere. A lone picket past the Dallas trademark where the president was to speak. In his address, he was to criticize the fanatical right. This is Parkland Hospital, some 2 miles from the shooting scene. By now, the presidential car with the dying president has already arrived. The president died 30 minutes after the shooting in the hospital emergency room. This is the emergency room of Parkland Hospital, a public hospital in Dallas, Texas. This is Major General Clifton, the military aide. Late word just in from Dallas. Homicide detective Leavelle told WBAP newsman James Kerr in Dallas a few minutes ago they have little doubt that 24-year-old Lee Oswald of Dallas is the man who shot and killed Dallas police officer J.D.Tippit shortly after President Kennedy was shot to death this afternoon. Oswald was pulled screaming and shouting from the Texas Theater by officers who had gone there on a tip that Oswald was there. He brandished a pistol which officers took away from him after a struggle. Oswald was quoted as saying, "It's all over now." A large crowd had congregated around the theater, and police had to hold back the crowds because they were of the impression that the man was the president's assassin. Officer Tipper had been killed by a man answering the description of Oswald in the neighborhood a short time before. The coincidence in the case is that Oswald worked